students, in the previous classes we have completed our first chapter, that is living world, in which we have studied about different characteristic features of the living organism as well as plant, their classification system, binomial nomenclature, then all the things that taxonomical hierarchy. And now in this chapter we will discuss about the second chapter, biological classification, in which we will study about different types of classification system, how organisms are classified into different kingdoms, what was the criteria for classification and all those things. Now first we'll look at the history of classification. Earlier the plants as well as organisms were classified on the basis of three criteria, that is food, clothes, shelter. That is no scientific criteria or basis for classification. First, Aristotle had classified all the organisms into two kingdoms, that is Plantae and Animalia, plants as well as animal, on the basis of scientific basis. That was the criteria, was the morphological characters. On the basis of morphological characters, Aristotle categorized the plants into three groups, that is tree, shrub and herb. Trees were the big trees and shrub the mediocre one, and shrubs the smaller plants. So three criteria was three groups were there in the plants. And all the animals are categorized into two categories. First was having the red blood and other was without red blood. Later on, due to the advancement of the microscopes and other things, in due course of time, various types of classification came into existence. Then Linnaeus given two kingdom classification, and he had classified all the plants and organisms into two kingdoms, that is Plantae as well as Animalia. All the plants are kept under plants, and Animalia, all the animals were there. Now, but later on it was came to know that Linnaeus, the classification of Linnaeus having so many drawbacks, we'll see those drawbacks. Now, according to Linnaeus, he had classified on the classification system. In that classification system, pro and eukaryotes are kept in the single class or that kingdom, and that was the one of the drawback. Pro and eukaryotes were kept together. Then unicellular and multicellular organisms were again kept together, that was the drawback. Then photosynthetic algae as well as non-photosynthetic organisms like fungi kept together, although they having different types of nutrition, mode of nutrition. Then a big number of plants and organisms not fall either in those two kingdoms, that is Animalia as well as Plantae, and that's why this classification system is inadequate for classifying all the living organisms. And obviously the morphology is also changing, and only the criteria was the morphological characters, that is the external features, and that's why the classification is ever changing. Then different scientists gave different classification system, and then that like R.H. Whittaker in 1969, he had given 5 kingdom classification. Then Hutchinson, Bentham and Hooker all have given different types of classification system. There are two types of classification system, artificial as well as natural. These are the Carolus Linnaeus given the classification that was based upon the artificial characters, only the morphological characters was considered. That's why it is known as artificial system of classification. Then earlier, bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, mosses, ferns, gymnosperm, angiosperms, all were kept in the single class or single group, and that was based upon the cell wall, presence of cell wall. So all these members having different types of cell wall, although made up of different things, like fungi made up of chitin, angiosperms and other plant group made up of cellulose. So because all of having the cell wall, that's why they were kept in a single group. Now again the drawbacks are different, that is you can see the drawbacks like prokaryote, eukaryotes kept together, unicellular, multicellular kept together, then heterotrophs, autotrophs kept together. So all these were the drawbacks. Then that's why later on the fungi was kept in a single different kingdom, that is fungi, and prokaryotes, all the prokaryotes were kept in the group, that is Monera, and unicellular eukaryotes are kept in Protista. With changing time and different criteria, now a different big number of criteria we are considering for classification system, and that is study of morphology, anatomy, then mode of reproduction, mode of nutrition, physiology, then phylogenetic relationship, how they have evolved, and their ancestor. All these things are considered for classifying the different organisms. Now, when R.H. Whittaker given his 5 kingdom classification, he took the criteria for classification are cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, as well as phylogenetic relationship, and then he gave 5 kingdom classification. Those 5 kingdoms were Monera, which was having all the prokaryotes, that is all the bacteria, eubacteria as well as archaebacteria are kept in this kingdom. Next is Protista, having it includes the eukaryotic unicellular organisms like protozoa, euglenoids, then chrysophytes and slime molds. Then fungi, it having also the eukaryotic organism, multicellular plants, and these are different classes are Basidiomycetes, Ascomycetes, then Phycomycetes and Deuteromycetes. Then plantae includes all the eukaryotic, that is algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnospermy, angiospermy, and animalia, all the animals, all are eukaryotic. So that we'll discuss in next slide one by one.
This slide is showing the picture of Robert Harding Whittaker, who had contributed a lot in classification system of living beings. He had given 5 kingdom classification. He was from USA and contributed a lot. And now we'll see in the next slide about all the 5 kingdoms. In this slide we can see picture of Robert Harding Whittaker and all the 5 kingdom classification given by him. Here he has classified into 5 kingdom, given 5 kingdom classification, in which the first kingdom was Monera, including all the prokaryotes, unicellular organism, and then Protista, fungi, animalia and plantae. All these 4 includes all the eukaryotic, Protista eukaryotic unicellular, and these 3 including the eukaryotic as well as multicellular organism. His work period during 1920 to 1980. In this slide we can see the classification of all the living organism in 5 kingdom given by R.H. Whittaker. This classification was given in 1969. According to this 5 kingdom classification, all the organisms are divided into 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, plantae, fungi, animalia. Now the criteria for this classification was the structure, that is prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic. Prokaryotic means the primitive type of cell and having without nucleus, that is nucleoid. In eukaryotes, true nucleus is there along with the cellular or that membranous structure. Now prokaryotes include the kingdom Monera, whereas eukaryotes are also divided into 2, unicellular as well as multicellular. Now unicellular made up of single cell, and that includes the kingdom or included in the kingdom, that is Protista, whereas multicellular having again 3 kingdoms. Now multicellular is divided into 2, having cell wall as well as without cell wall. Without cell wall are categorized in the kingdom Animalia, whereas cell wall having those organisms are categorized or classified into the kingdom Plantae as well as fungi. Now this basis was mode of nutrition. In case of Plantae, all are phototrophic in nature, that's why autotroph, and heterotrophs are fungi because they are having no chlorophyll and they depend upon food nutrition on others, and they are not autotrophs. So these are the basis for classification given by Robert Whittaker, that is structure, cell organization, having cell wall or without cell wall, as well as mode of nutrition. In this slide we can see the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotic cell. The main difference is that prokaryotes have nucleoids, no true nucleus is present, but in case of eukaryote, true nucleus is present, that is nucleus with nuclear membrane and nucleolus, etc. That's why in prokaryotes DNA is present directly in the cytoplasm, in that reason is known as nucleoid. But here eukaryotes having the DNA inside the nucleus along with the proteins, histone protein, non-histone protein, as well as RNA. Now the transcription and translation process having also some differences. In case of prokaryote, the transcription occurs in cytoplasm as well as translation both occurs in cytoplasm, whereas in case of eukaryotes the transcription process occurs in nucleus and translation in cytoplasm. Now transcription means formation of RNA from DNA, and translation is all the informations present on RNA are translated in the amino acid for synthesis of protein. Now this mRNA is not required, this messenger RNA after the transcription which is produced is not required any processing, they are fully mature and they will enter into the translation process, whereas in eukaryotes RNA is not fully mature messenger RNA, it is known as the primitive type of RNA, that is hnRNA, heteronuclear RNA, and it will undergo the process of splicing and other some processing so that they will give rise to messenger RNA for the process of protein synthesis. One more difference is there, that here only one RNA polymerase enzyme is required, whereas in eukaryotes more than one RNA polymerase enzyme is required for the process of protein synthesis. Now some of the cell organelles, membrane cell organelles are present inside the eukaryotes like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. But in case of prokaryotes these cell organelles are